I don't buy it. This thing is not a done deal by any means. Are they now licensing this IP, this AI? I've been skeptical on a deal working out for TikTok for, I don't know, since day one.
This is a moving ball. The TikTok stuff has been all over the place. The recent deal I'm sure everyone is familiar with is Oracle takes 12.5%, Walmart takes 7.5%, 20%. The argument is that because American VC and institutional investors own roughly 40% of ByteDance, okay, and if ByteDance owns 80%, that's effectively a 32% ownership in TikTok. Following me? Right? So 32% plus the 20 says, oh, well, look, TikTok is majority controlled by Americans. I don't buy it. It's a nice loophole. It's a nice kind of optics, like, 40% time, right? 0.4 times 0.8 is 0.32 plus 0.2. And now you're at 0.52, 52% ownership in TikTok. Magic. So it's a nice loophole. I think, the problem with analyzing the TikTok situation is there really isn't a lot of information out there. You're kind of just getting your information through leaked reports that many of times are not true. So here's what we do know. We do know those numbers. That's the proposal. We do know that they're proposing a 5-person board, Walmart being one of the board members, and Zhang, the CEO of ByteDance, has 1 board seat. The other 4 board seats are from, either Americans or American businesses that are filling those 4 out of 5 board seats. Okay, that is some good level of governance, right? They're saying they want an IPO, which means that there would be presumably more ownership, but that could be any public individual. We also know the Chinese government has restricted the export of AI and certain IP out of China. So I have 2 big questions here. And a lot of this comes back to the national security concern. One is TikTok, if TikTok is spun out, are they now licensing this IP, this AI from ByteDance? It seems like that's the situation. So if TikTok is licensing this IP from ByteDance, so now TikTok US doesn't have access to the source code, right? Because they're licensing it. Why would you show your licensee the source code for the thing they're licensing? The answer is you wouldn't. You would give them, a program, an executable program, a file that is going to be analyzing the data now stored in Oracle servers in the United States. And then, but this program, think about the recommendation engine, right? What goes onto my newsfeed? That program is going to be coming from source code in China, given, let's call it an executable file, given to TikTok in the United States. It's going to be running on Oracle servers, analyzing the data in Oracle servers, and then spitting back, recommendations to American users. Anyone else think that could be a problem? I do. That's point 1. How do you really know what's in the black box of the recommendation engine, let's call it? The answer is you don't. Is this thing going to be sending stuff back to China? Do you know that? Can you shut it down? They got back doors there. You don't know because it's a black box. And you'll never know because you're licensing it from China. You can't go through the source code. You can't do the kind of audits that you want to do. So yeah, you're kind of stuck there. That's point 1. Point 2 is, in the press release, they're saying that they're going to create 25,000 jobs in the United States. And I think that plan needs to be a lot tighter, right? Over how many years? What's the transition plan? Are there still going to be Chinese employees, engineers, namely, product people, namely, working in China? what is the timeline and the plan to transition over the servers, the data, the engineering team, the product team, right? And is that going to be fully out of China? Is that going to be a mix over year 1 and 2, and then year 3 it's gone? These have been my problems from the get-go with this deal. We can rewind the clock and the tape on this, that I've just shuddered at the thought of this deal. Actually went on Fox News, Fox Business, and said the same thing on Maria Bartiromo's show. This deal just gives me the jitters. So do I think this deal will get done with this Oracle thing? I actually don't think it will. I actually don't think it's going to get done. I've been skeptical on a deal working out for TikTok for, I don't know, since day one. The media has misreported on this every step of the way. On September 15th, Jim Cramer came out and said that this is a done deal, approved. Now we heard more recently from the president that TikTok needs to be majority controlled by Oracle. Well, that's not currently the case. And we're waiting on China to approve this deal. The timeline has been extended another week. I just don't see a way to satisfy the concerns around national security, around data, privacy, these kinds of things, and American ownership. It's really a loophole to say our 40% American ByteDance investors now equate to 52% ownership in TikTok. If you just think about it from a governance standpoint and all these kinds of things, that's why they're trying to placate the governance issues with 4 out of 5 board members are American. But there's just so many known unknowns. I don't think there's any way you can concretely, or even with not even 100% conviction, but even just a high degree of confidence, say that whatever you're licensing from China is not going to violate the concerns we had in the first place, right? Because you still have a back door, which is a main part of the app, the black box recommendation engine, which presumably is going to be licensed here. No one else has really definitively reported on how that's going to happen. But that is a pretty big issue here, not to mention just the personnel and the transferring and all that kind of stuff. So, this thing is not a done deal by any means. And who knows? China may put other clamps down on it. Doesn't even seem like Trump is totally sold on the current construct of the deal. I don't know. There's so many moving parts, and there's so many things that could come out in another week or a month as you get more fidelity. Again, this is just a super high level plan, right? They had multiple bids. They were running a selling process. You're not really deep in the nuts and bolts of what's the technical process, right? So when CFIUS, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, when they were shutting down the grinder sale to that Chinese company, they run an investigation. They do a lot of technical diligence on that transaction, and they delivered their report on that and struck down the sale. Similarly, CFIUS already ran a review on TikTok. I think last year we covered it on the show, which was them reporting these national security concerns in the first place. So, what is CFIUS's role in all of this? Obviously, this has been driven by the White House, but I think when you get down to the nuts and bolts of these kinds of technical concerns, there's going to be other stakeholders here to ensure that these more technical matters are factored in, even if at a high level, the governance and ownership stuff gets signed off on. The media loves to get worked up into a tizzy over it, but it's kind of much ado about nothing. In my mind, this thing's pretty much already done. It's a done deal in the sense that it's going to be banned. Hi, this is Alex from Winner Take All. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave a comment, ask us questions, and definitely make sure to join us on our next live stream.